no matter where you are, no matter when you are. Good morning. So, hello everyone. The first thing I want to say today is be your casual YouTuber. What's going on? No, I'm sure. But please do subscribe if you watch the videos. And the main thing I want you to do, other than liking and subscribing, is comment. Tell me your favorite story, or tell me a story I missed. Like, that's the point of this. It's an interactive thing. I would love to hear what your favorite story of the week was that we talked about, or tell me a story you wish I had talked about, or tell me a story I should talk about next week if it's going to be a long story. With that, let's get into it. So, we're back at it. Canadian wildfires are popping up again, so it's important to know a few things when we're looking at this. Now, the visibility yesterday, today is now Wednesday, it's the 28th of June, and yesterday, Tuesday, it was hard to see outside. You couldn't see in front of you if you're walking, driving. It was brutal. Now, one thing I want to point out in our article by CNN here is Chicago and Detroit for hours had the worst air quality in the world Tuesday night, with Detroit's air at one point reaching a very unhealthy air quality index of 205. Chicago's air quality index was a 174 late Tuesday. We had a 205. That is brutal. So hopefully they're able to get these under control. It's not okay for us to walk outside of our houses and feel like it hurts to breathe, or we can't breathe, or we can't see. So this isn't just affecting Illinois and Michigan. This is affecting the whole Midwest. So there's a lot of places affected. We see places as far as Wisconsin all the way to places like Kansas. So hopefully we can get that under control. If you're wondering why it was so foggy, well, now you know. So, second story. This one's important for me to talk about. So, Paris is freaking out right now because police officers had accidentally shot and killed a 17-year-old who was driving. So the story is he was speeding and they tried to stop him and he failed to stop it. I believe it was a stop sign or a stoplight. He was then pulled over and then he was shot and killed later at the hospital. Well, he died later at the hospital. The officer that has been accused of shooting him has been detained on homicide charges, so that's something we would never see here in America. The officer would usually be put on leave, paid leave, and they would do an investigation, and eventually it would disappear, blah, blah, blah. Here, he's already on lookout for homicide charges. Now, there is an interesting thing where there are cops that try to say that the teen drove his car towards them, acting like he was intending to hurt them, but there's footage now that I'm not going to play that we see that's not the truth, that the actual child did not do this, and instead the 17-year-old was shot in the head. Very unfortunate, or not, I'm sorry, he was threatened to be shot in the head by an unknown police officer in the video, and then he was unfortunately shot and killed. Now, in America, let's look how many people are killed at traffic stops by police. Okay, the U.S. police have killed nearly 600 people in traffic stops since 2017, the data shows. And interesting, look at all of these news articles. Even the FBI, law enforcers that killed people in the line of duty. So, here in America, this happens so often that when we hear this, it's kind of unfortunately just another day. But where in France, the place that riots and protests the most in the world, you could literally drop a piece of bread on the ground at a fancy restaurant and the whole country would riot. It's crazy how often France makes their opinions heard. And well, this is a good one to have your opinion heard on. So, unfortunately, here in America, we don't get the same type of response anymore, but I'm glad to see other people still take the lives of their citizens, their innocent citizens, very seriously. Okay, so this one I'm going to cover kind of quick. So the Russian general here on the left. Now, Prigozhin, I'm pretty sure is his name, Prigozhin, was a general at one point and then became a militia leader. So in other words, he ran a secret military that wasn't part of the government but was often hired by the government to do things that the government shouldn't do. But they don't follow the same rules. They're paid gunmen. You can do whatever you want. Well, turns out they tried to have a civil war. The gentleman on the left here tried to invade Russia and tried to take over Putin. Now, this was a coup, so a military coup staged by a militia that planned to overthrow the Russian government. Now, the Russian government had caught wind of the plan. So did everyone in the world. I knew about this before it happened, so good job keeping it real quiet, keeping it a little hush-hush. That was, it failed. The Russian government invited them to come in and talk because they knew what was happening during the actual invasion, and he did. Him and his allies went in and talked to Putin and others, and now we're kind of seeing, well, what happens next? Is he going to be killed behind the scenes, and we're just going to hear that he was moved to a different country? Is he going to be moved to a different country? Is he going to be kicked out of the military? Is he going to be tied into the military permanently on, charges? There's a lot that could happen from this, but what's interesting and breaking today is the fact that there are people inside of the Russian military now that we believe were giving him information or trying to help his cause in overthrowing the Russian government. Now, at one point, one of the larger supporters of the person that we're talking about, the general here that matters, is we see that there was a General Sorovikin is a military leader who helped shore defense across the battle lines in the Ukraine counteroffensive last year. This is somebody who was fighting in the Ukraine, top general, that was trying to join sides with a coup from a militia group. That's crazy. So I just wanted to give that one a little shout out. We'll keep it pressed if it pops up again next week. Maybe there's more repercussions. Now our last two are quick. One's fun and one's interesting. So I wanted to shout out Ursa True, the first woman to land a 720. So a 720 is a skateboarding trick where you do 720 degree rotation. Ooh! Are you kidding me? She's 13 and she just landed a 720. Oh my god, that's insane. Props to her. She's an Australian skateboarder, and that was just incredible to watch. Now, last story of the day. South Koreans are becoming younger under a new law. That's a wild statement to hear. So, to wrap this up, in South Korea, for a long time, there was two ways to define your age. First, everyone counted from the moment they were in their mother's udo. So, in other words, when you were born, you were already 9 months old. So, it didn't take very long for you to turn 1. The other one is that everyone aged on January 1st. You didn't have a birthday. Everyone turned, if I'm 26 this year, when January 1st comes, I'm 27. January 1st the next year, I'm 28, even if I was born in December. So, that's kind of interesting, but that's the way they used to do it. They're now transferring over to the way we do it here. Your birthday is the day you age in your country. It's to help with things like health insurance, life insurance, job security, and other things like this. So hopefully it works out for South Korea. But that does it for today, everyone. Thank you for stopping by again. It's always a pleasure. I have so much fun making these. Please remember to like and subscribe. More importantly, please remember to comment. What was your favorite story? What's something you want me to talk about? What's something I missed? Keep me in the loop. Bye, everyone.